There's a lot of discussion about calming the mind and about having a tranquil spirit inside, a peace that transcends understanding, as it were. And I was looking through the yoga aphorisms of Patanjali today. There's a book called How to Know God, which is kind of a commentary on those practices by Swami Prabhavananda from the Hollywood Center, which incidentally is the center that leads the center that I live at here in Washington, D.C. And it was put together with Swami Prabhavananda and Christopher Isherwood. So it's a nice read. There's some really good material in there, and I'm going to share some things with you about methods of calming the mind. We're in verse 33, and it says, "Undisturbed calmness of mind is attained by cultivating friendliness toward the happy." That's a nice, easy one. Cultivating friendliness toward the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and indifference toward the wicked. So these are things that you cultivate, attitudes that you cultivate toward different people in the world. And that's where an undisturbed mind begins. Basically, it's not being hooked into any of those things. It's a way of reflecting them, by cultivating friendliness toward the happy. You encourage happiness. You foster happiness. You foster well-being towards those with a positive spirit and with a good outlook. And then compassion for the unhappy. You're there to lift up. You're there to empathize. You're there to feel with the unhappy. It's a giving. It's a nurturing. It's a taking care. Hooking means taking something in, and this is a way of not doing that, not taking things in to disturb your own peace, and at the same time cultivating a greater peace and a greater well-being. Delight in the virtuous. So you delight in those people who are trying to live well, who are trying to be selfless, who are trying to make this world a better place by the way that they're living. Those who are not self-consumed. So you delight in that company. You delight in those people's presence. And indifferent toward the wickedness. You let them go on, to each his own. Those are the things you want in your life. Those are the things you must go get. There's no need to conquest or to change or to convince or to meddle. You are as you are and they are as they are, and life goes on. So those are the first 4 ways that he talks about cultivating this calmness of mind. He says the mind may also be calmed by expulsion and retention of the breath. Well, this is paying attention to your breathing, that practice of just bringing you into the present moment, connecting with the breath. Concentration may also be attained by fixing the mind upon the inner light, which is beyond sorrow. That inner light you have to find. Generally, the scriptures talk about it being a beautiful place in the center of your being, your heart area here, the place in the chest. Some of the forms of jnana meditation put it in the forehead here. But Holy Mother encourages really going for the light of love within the heart, placing your mind there, taking repose, resting in that place. Or by meditating on the heart of an illumined soul that is free from passion. So thinking about the love of a Christ, or the love of Ramakrishna, or the love of a Buddha, the love of these compassionate beings that the world knows has come to visit them, whose names we remember after millennium pass. That their contribution to our well-being, to our quality of life is extraordinary. And they induce a calmness of mind by focusing on their heart, on the way that they lived. Reading the stories, contemplating the stories of things and events in their lives that reflect that greatness that we remember about them. Or by fixing the mind upon the dream experience or the experience of deep sleep. So listening to what the dreams are teaching you through their symbolism and wondering on them, pondering on them, in the perspective of what you can learn, of what is the inner message of your authentic self to your conscious self. Or by fixing the mind upon any divine form or symbol that appeals to one as good. So it's a wide open field. Anything, Ramakrishna told a grandmother one time to put the picture of her grandson on her shrine and to think about that, because that was goodness to her, that was purity to her, that was sweetness to her. And love came naturally from that image or that symbol. And so look for those things that encourage your good, that help you recognize love, that really cultivate love in you. The mind of a yogi can concentrate upon any object of any size, from the atomic to the infinitely great. Find that way of cultivating that tranquil spirit that's your nature.